there's a good chance hypnosis has something for you. So if you have a question about hypnosis, if you've been interested in it, you're not sure about it, maybe you have a friend who has gone to a hypnotherapist and you're wondering what happened to them, what's the procedure that they use, how does a hypnotherapist work with people, how is that done? I'm here to answer questions like that. Also, if you want to become a hypnotherapist, I'm here to answer your questions about that, to put you on that path. So whatever it is that you may have a question about concerning hypnotherapy or hypnosis, I'm here as your resource 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, to answer those questions and to clear things up for you so that you can have a better understanding of how you can help yourself and others through the power of the subconscious mind. So let's go ahead and check in, see who we have with us today. And looks like we have a few people. Brenda, hello. Tiffany, hello to you. Anki, hello. Georgina, hello to you. Roselli, hello. Liliana, hello to you. Mariana, hello. Adriana, hello to you. And smile to you also. Ali, hello to you. Roselli, hello from Brazil. Kathy, hello to you. If you're just joining this broadcast, go ahead and like this broadcast and share it. Those buttons should be down there. And go ahead and subscribe so you'll know when I'm on next. That way you won't miss out when something exciting happens, such as the other day when I was at Joe Vitale's house and we broadcast live from Wimberley, Texas, and Joe Vitale and Matthew Dixon and myself, we had a wonderful time and we brought you in. If you missed that broadcast, it's right here on Facebook. You can scroll back and see it. But we talked about Ho'oponopono, the program that's going to be released soon with Matthew Dixon and Joe Vitale. And Joe Vitale showed us his book collection, his guitar collection, and of course we were able to springboard from there into a lot of interesting topics to help people get a lot of clarity in their lives. And that's really what this is all about, helping people get clear on what they're working on. If you're confused about something, the fastest way to do it, the fastest way to get things done, well, this is your resource. And I'm happy that I have wonderful guests such as Joe Vitale and Matthew Dixon, and Natalie Ledwell has joined me in the past, Sonia Riccati, so many great and wonderful names, great and wonderful people. So when you subscribe, you find out about those things. You'll get notified when I'm on and you'll know what I'm up to. All right, let's go ahead and check in. Looks like we have a lot of activity here as always, which is great to see. Chantal, hello. Mahela, hello. Ingrid, hello to you. Valerie says hello, and to everyone that's watching the broadcast, have a blessed weekend. All right, thank you. Liliana, hello to you. Adriana says smiles back. All right. And Kalmar says, how do you deal hypnotizing a hemophilia child who usually lost consciousness during hemorrhagic attacks? Okay, that is a question that you'll want to consult a medical doctor about, since it does concern something medical. I believe that your best bet would be to go the medical route, and a lot of times a psychologist or a psychiatrist being a medical doctor, will also practice hypnotherapy. So when you have a number of things going on like that at once, you'll want to consult with your medical doctor. But thank you for that question. And a lot of times the answers have to do with medicine, mainstream medicine, in which case I will never hesitate to refer you to your primary care physician, which should be your first stop anyway when you're dealing with anything at all that's medically related. Edie, hello to you. Mariana says, living in the moment today is an excuse for being an ignorant. How can we make the difference? Live in the moment, not through ignorance. Greeting from Romania. Sounds good to me. You can make a difference in your life and the lives of others by taking action that helps people, helps you and helps others. And a lot of that has to do with just finding your passion and going for it. Gabby, hello to you from Cologne. All right. Ingrid says, I wish hypnosis did more for me than just make me go to sleep. All right. Well, I do have a lot of recordings on various topics, and I will tell you that a lot of times the change that happens with you when you use a hypnosis recording or go to a hypnotherapist is something that's somewhat on the subtle side. When people gain confidence or gain motivation, a lot of times people think, well, when I become confident, I'll be the loudest person in the room and I'll be speaking as if I'm in charge of everything. And a lot of times confidence is very quiet, because when you have the calmness inside to know that everything's fine, and when you feel comfortable with who you are and what you're doing, that doesn't require a lot of being loud and shouting and so forth and being overly aggressive. That usually comes across as being calm. So my point there is that a lot of times the progress we make in these things that are qualitative rather than quantitative, a quantitative improvement would be something such as losing weight. It's the quantity. We can see on a scale how much weight we've lost. Gaining money, that's quantitative. There's a quantity. We can see how much money. It can be counted. It can be quantified. We can see how much money we've gained. When we deal with something that's qualitative, such as confidence or motivation, unless we've developed a skill to assess a way to evaluate those, then it really becomes difficult to assess the progress we've made. And usually where it shows up is other people notice. Other people say something. Hey, wow, you seem different. You seem more, in control or more calm. Those are qualitative changes that usually come about. So Ingrid, depending on what you're working on, the changes that are happening may be more of the qualitative nature and things that your friends might be noticing that you're not even noticing. But feel free to elaborate on that if you'd like. Roselli, hello to you. Liliana, hello. And if you're just joining, go ahead and like this video and share this video. I believe those buttons are down here. And be sure to subscribe so you'll know when I'm on next. Ingrid says, hey, this is a beautiful day. All right, Ingrid, I like it. Ulysses says, hello, Dr. Steve. How are you today? From McAllen, Texas. All right, well, greetings to you from McAllen, Texas. I've been all over Texas recently, in Austin, Texas, Wimberley, Texas, San Antonio, Texas. Another great reason to subscribe, because when I'm on the Riverwalk in San Antonio, Texas, or when I'm in Austin, Texas, and I've got the great backdrop behind me of the water and the hills and the new construction, or when I'm at Joe Vitale's house in Wimberley, Texas, you get to see me and you get to be part of it and you get to interact, because I always bring you into this and I'm interested in answering your questions, clarifying anything that might be on your mind. And that's why I do these broadcasts, because I believe that I can serve as a resource for you, clearing up questions that you may have. Ingrid says, I want to know how I can make hypnosis work for me besides just make me go to sleep. Okay, and I did address that recently. I addressed your question. If you have a further question about that, Ingrid, feel free to ask. Namita says, hello, good morning from Thailand. Now have a nice day. God bless. All right, well, thank you, Namita. Valerie says, does hypnosis help people who are in coma state but still have brain activity? Well, again, you want to consult your medical doctor about that, because they will probably know whether the person is able to still process sound. So there are different types of comas and there are different states that people can be in. So you'll want to consult with the medical doctor who's the specialist who's been assigned to that particular patient to find out what their exact situation is. But in many cases, yes, people are able to take in information through their ears, through their hearing, and process that information. So you'll want to check on that. Claudia says, hello, Dr. Steve. Good morning from Singapore. So blessed to see you live. All right. Well, we're blessed to have you here, Claudia. So thank you for being here. And Vao Dao says, hello, Dr. Steve G. Jones. Hello to you. Ingrid says, I'm usually the most quiet of a group. All right. Well, that may mean you're the most confident of the group. Let's see. Pam says, there was a problem with the sound at the start of this recording, but okay now, Dr. Steve. Question. I very often listen to quite a few different hypnosis recordings, some unconnected throughout the weeks. Do you think this matters? Think I'll eventually listen to them all for 3 weeks. By the way, the Hertz visuals on laptop are amazing. Haven't downloaded them all yet, but giving me more ideas for more paintings. Excellent. By the way, look for the Seattle ones on Facebook. All right. Well, a lot of information there, Pam. Let me see if I can get down to the heart of your question. So here's the way I'm going to rephrase your question, Pam, which would be this. And I do answer this in frequently asked questions online in a typed format, but let me go ahead and give that to you here. And so your question, as I'm going to rephrase it, is if you've got a lot of different hypnosis recordings, how should you listen to them? Let's say that you have bought a bunch of hypnosis recordings, either from me or from other people or a combination, and they're on different topics. Let's say we've got a little bit of stop smoking, lose weight, gain confidence, gain motivation, all kinds of things. And you're wondering how to listen to them. Do I listen to one for 21 nights in a row and then another for 21 nights in a row? How is that done? Okay, so if you have a very simple situation, such as you've just bought maybe 3, let's say, hypnosis recordings, and they're on very distinct topics, such as weight loss, stopping smoking, and stopping nail biting. In that case, you should listen to one of them for 3 weeks in a row, then the next one for 3 weeks in a row, then the final one for 3 weeks in a row. However, sometimes things can be combined. Let's say, for example, you have a lot of hypnosis recordings that you've purchased, and some of them are on things such as relieving stress, or gaining motivation, or gaining creativity, or gaining confidence. When it comes to those types of things, you can usually combine them into categories. For example, where do you think you would need the most motivation and confidence? Of the things that you've chosen, the recordings that you have that you want to work on, where would you need the most confidence and motivation? Well, confidence, or a confidence recording, a motivation recording, and a weight loss recording can work very well together. So in that case, you have a group of 3 recordings that are in a similar category. They all go together nicely. You want to be confident and you want to be motivated to lose weight and to feel good about yourself. That makes sense. So in that case, you can listen to 3 different recordings for 21 nights. And the way you would do that is the first night you listen to recording 1, the second night you listen to recording 2, the third night you listen to recording 3, then you just rinse and repeat. You start over on the 4th night with recording 1, 5th night recording 2, 6th night recording 3. So you go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 all the way through the 3 weeks. So you still have the same 3 weeks, but you've been more efficient with your time because you found categories for things. And I'm all about efficiency. If I can combine things and do things in a highly efficient way, I'll do that. And you can do that as well with hypnosis, as long as they work together. Don't combine things such as losing weight and stopping smoking, because those are both challenges for people. Those are both usually big challenges for people. They want to lose weight, they want to stop smoking. Sometimes people stop eating as much, they start smoking more because of this addiction energy that they have. They feel they have to channel it somewhere. So if it's not being channeled on one thing, it gets channeled on something else. So working on both of those big things at the same time can be counterproductive. You want to get success in one and then start working on the other. And so I would say start with the biggest challenge first, whether it's smoking or weight loss, which one means the most to you. Get that conquered, get that handled, start to feel good about yourself, start to realize that you have a lot of personal power that you didn't realize you had before, and start to realize that you had been living as a victim of your addiction when in fact you were in charge the whole time. So once those thoughts start to occur to you and you start to get some distinctions in that healthy type of way, then you can apply that power to the next thing you're working on. So great question, and thank you very much, Pam, for asking that. And if you're just joining, go ahead and like this video, go ahead and share this video, and go ahead and subscribe so you'll know when I'm on next. I'm Dr. Steve G. Jones. I'm a hypnotherapist. I help people with the power of their subconscious mind to realize the power that perhaps they had forgotten about, or perhaps they never really tapped into. Power to do things such as lose weight, stop smoking, gain motivation, gain confidence, become more creative, get things done more efficiently, become more assertive, not in a negative, annoying way, but in a positive, get things done type of way. So those are the types of challenges that I work with people on with hypnosis. And if you have any questions around that, how I can be of service to you in clearing up any confusion you may have, that's why I'm here, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. No set time. I just come in when it works with my schedule, but I am here 3 days a week. All right, let's go ahead and check in. Melinda, hello from Hungary. All right, Melinda, of course, is a hypnotherapist who recently produced the hypnotherapy recordings in Hungarian. We didn't have that initially, but now we do. I'm happy to say we have the top 5 recordings available in Hungarian. So she has looked after her fellow country people. And thank you for that, Melinda. Catalina says, thanks, I hear you perfect now. All right, Tashima says, thank you, you're welcome. Larita May says, hi, Steve from UK. Have a great day. Well, you too, Larita, thank you. Barbara says, no video in the office are not nice. Okay. Well, I hope you're able to watch this at some other time then. Aliska says, hello, Dr. Steve. I wish a nice evening. Well, thank you. Maya Liss says, hi, Dr. Steve. Good morning from the Philippines. Have a nice day. God bless. Well, thank you very much. You as well. Still says, hi, doctor. Good to see you again. Well, you too. Ida says, happy Friday. How are you? Doing great, Ida. Thank you for checking in with us. Ida being one of our regulars. And Cicely says, hey, handsome, still no sound. Sorry, but rock on. All right, well, apparently a lot of people are able to hear me now, and thank you for the compliment, by the way. So if you're not able to hear me, well, you're not going to hear this, but for those of you who are, I want you to realize that if you're ever not able to, there's a good chance you'll be able to hear it in replay, even if you're not able to hear it live initially. Liliana says, the only live stream for a purpose we learned of you. Great. All right, well, thank you. I'm glad to be here. Dory says, hi, hello, God bless to you. I'm Dory from the Philippines. Well, hello, Dory. Nice to have you here. Valerie says, thank you for the info. I will pass that info on. All right. Aliska says, thank you very much for your live video. Good night from Czech Republic. Good night to you, Aliska. Thanks for being here. Barbara says, you have to wear glasses. Okay. Well, sometimes I do wear glasses. Kalmar says, no, just curious about the 18th century Rasputin hypnosis originated from Manchuria, of which main hypnosis was dealt with hemophilia children. I'm just asking if you had any knowledge about it. Good day. I had time to visit also this user account. I'm compiling my life. All right. So, yeah, back then, I don't know if they had the same legal system and medical system that we have now. I do appreciate that lesson in history, and no, I did not know that. I was not aware of that, so thank you for sharing that with us. But these days we have a far more sophisticated and knowledgeable system compared to the 18th century, and I encourage you to take advantage of that, to embrace the modern advancements that we're lucky to live around and within the system we live within, and to consult your medical doctor about these issues. So, but thank you for sharing that, Kalmars. I appreciate that. Victoria has joined us. Hypnotherapist Victoria Gallagher. Hello to you. I have to get you on this sometime, Victoria. Jeff says, hello, Dr. Steve and all in the group. Well, hello to you, Jeff. Gregory has joined. Ingrid says, I want to create a sense of personal value. I was brought up to work in our father's business and at our small farm without recognition, especially no monetary allowance. And we were told to be grateful for what we had and made to feel guilty to ask for more than what we had. So now when I work or want to ask for more money in my life, it doesn't show up for me even with proper action with projects, or I have difficulty getting the right support. I have difficulty with having. All right. So we have a question here from Ingrid. Ingrid was brought up in a situation in which she had to work for her father's business, and there was no recognition, there was no pay, there was no allowance, and Ingrid was told from early on to just be grateful for what she had, and now she has a difficulty getting support from people, and apparently has difficulty asking for what she wants. And this is something that pretty much used to be standard when our world was based more on agriculture, and there was a house on a farm, and there were animals and corn crops, and we saw a lot of self-sufficient people. A lot of people were farmers. A lot of normal families, just average families, they were farmers. They lived off of the land. We still see some people doing this, but Whole Foods has become very popular, and we don't see people doing that type of thing very much anymore. But the idea was that, yeah, hey, you're eating the food, you're being raised by your family, so you do your part, and that's fine. We do see now in modern days that system is becoming antiquated. It's not necessary anymore because we have modern agriculture, which is far superior to the way agriculture used to be. Agriculture is extremely scientific now, and the use of land is getting better and better. And we have, as I mentioned, grocery stores, so we don't see that a lot. So Ingrid, the system that you were brought up in, I've actually got several friends who are in their 30s who were brought up in the same system. Not all of them in the United States, some of them in other countries, but it's interesting just how recent that was. It wasn't, it was still carrying on until very recent times. And of course, some families still live on farms, but it used to be the norm. And so now we're moving into much more of the, I do my thing in the world, I make my contribution to the world, and food is something I buy at the grocery store, rather than let's all work on the family farm and milk the cow and pick the corn and so forth, and that will be our identity, and that will be what we do, and that will be expected of us. So a very big difference in psychology and sociology has taken place, where now we have a lot of people identifying with what they're working on, their personal accomplishments. In fact, a lot of my business and a lot of my industry in general, the self-help industry, is built on this new concept that we're more than just laborers on working on getting food so that we can eat and sleep and reproduce. We actually have a contribution to the world, and that's what we're focused on. And we have a song to sing, we have a gift to give, we have a story to tell, we have this beauty inside us that we want to share. So I thank you for taking us back through our cultural history, Ingrid, but you are a person who is unique in that you're shifting from one system to the other. You're actually raised in the remnants of that farming type community, and now you want to embrace this new idea of, hey, it's not just about getting by, it's about getting ahead. It's about sharing my gift with the world. So the first thing for you, Ingrid, is going to be to come to grips with the fact that nobody treated you wrong. When you talk about the past, that's just the way it was. That was normal for a long time. So I want to just coach you a little bit on letting go of blaming your parents or thinking it was a bad situation, because it just was what it was, and that's the way things were done. And so now it's not as if you're in a better situation now. It's just different. It's a different situation. You're able to focus on yourself and go to the grocery store for food. And so what I want you to realize is that the challenges you're having are natural. And a lot of times what can help with that is subconscious reprogramming, especially when you're coming from a former system and going into a new one. It's just your subconscious mind can have a challenge wrapping around that. Oh my goodness, I'm not just working to support the family and to feed myself. I'm actually becoming wealthy now, and my friends are becoming wealthy, and there can be a lot of guilt associated with that. We see that with people who are raised in poverty, people who didn't have much when they were children, and they start to get money. Then what do we see them do with it? Well, we see them making decisions that aren't really that great. We see them a lot of times getting caught up in excessive gambling. And I'm talking about gambling in which they lose a lot of money. We see them developing addictive habits that pull them down. We see them losing or wasting money. And a lot of times this happens because subconsciously they don't feel that they're worthy of these things. And so, Ingrid, a big challenge for you is going to be that. So figuring out that you are worthy. You're worthy of everything good in this world, Ingrid, and you're worthy of everything that you want to do. So this is not just a lesson for you, Ingrid. This is a lesson for anyone who has come from a system or a childhood in which there was some kind of, you were deprived somewhat, and now you have unlimited possibility in this modern internet world. And it can be a shock to your subconscious mind, because your subconscious mind has certain ideas about itself and about the world and your place in the world and what you deserve and what you don't deserve. So it's really going to require a rewiring of your brain. And I speak as someone who's been there myself. When I was a kid, I wore high water pants. My dad was born in 1925. The Depression was just getting underway, and he was a person who wanted to save, and not waste resources. That's a big lesson that came from the Depression. So I have had to get myself used to that new system. One resource that I can strongly recommend is a book that I wrote with my good friend Frank Mangano. And Frank and I wrote a book called You Can Attract It. And you can go to youcanattractit.com and check that out, Ingrid. And it's going to take you on a journey, because Frank is a guy who, in the beginning of the book, he talks about it. He was driving a bus, and I think he was getting $300 a week. And now, being a wealthy, successful person, he's had to do a lot of personal growth to get there. So check out You Can Attract It, Ingrid, and also just start looking into ways that you can associate with successful people, so that you can realize, hey, they're good people, and you deserve to be one of them. So thank you for bringing that up, Ingrid. And if you're just joining us, go ahead and like this video, go ahead and share this video, go ahead and subscribe so that you can find out when I'm on next, which is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but you never know exactly when I'll be on, because it's based on my schedule. And sometimes my schedule gets busy, sometimes it gets a little hectic, and so I come on here when I'm able to. Let's go ahead and check in now. Brenda says, hello, Jeff. All right, so Jeff, you have a shout out from Brenda. This might be a matchmaking thing here. Ulysses says, Dr. Steve, what hypnosis could help me with weight loss? Been trying so hard to lose weight, done all kinds of diet, and thinking of having surgery to get the weight off. Please advise me. Wow, okay, so we have a question here from Ulysses about weight loss. And how would you use hypnosis to lose weight? Well, I do have a recording for that to make it easier for you. I recommend the hour-long weight loss platinum recording. That's going to be very powerful for you. And beyond that, you'll absolutely want to, even before looking into that, you'll want to talk to your medical doctor about that, because there may be a physiological component to that. For example, when people have thyroid issues, that can affect their weight one way or the other, either causing them to lose weight or gain weight. So there could be something going on that a yearly physical and a talk with a doctor could bring out, Ulysses. But once you have your doctor's blessing, weight loss through hypnosis is very straightforward. I've used it myself recently with tremendous results. I'm not just a person who promotes hypnosis and makes hypnosis recordings. I use them myself, and I recently lost 30 pounds using hypnosis, but also using very practical systems. Again, my friend Frank Mangano, who I mentioned earlier, we wrote a book called Power of Thin, which has a lot of great recipes in the back. The back is just full of great recipes that have all kinds of weight loss tips built into them with that in mind. So when I was working on my personal weight loss, I hired a dietitian, and you may think, oh, a dietitian is very expensive. Not really. I had to see her, well, I still see her just to check in to make sure I'm doing the right thing. But once every 6 weeks, and I think it was $90 each time. So not really that bad. And I mean, anyone should be able to do this or work this in. You can probably find them even less expensive, or you can consult with them online perhaps less expensively. I also hired a personal trainer. I see him once a week, except when I'm traveling, and that costs me $50 each time. Now, you don't need to do that once a week. You can just see a personal trainer, get some ideas for exercises that are appropriate for your gender and your age and anything else that may be going on with you, any physical challenges you may have, and then you can be off and running. But again, with these things, as with anything else, always consult with your physician first before starting a diet plan or before starting any kind of exercise routine. You want to make sure you're doing things in an appropriate way. Some people get really gung-ho and they say, oh, I'm going to go to the gym. And then they go to the gym for a week and they get achy muscles and they stop and they don't do it anymore. Well, that's not what I call a long-term beneficial plan. That's what I call getting a lot of anxiety about something and working on a quick fix and then deciding that you're not going to follow through. And lack of follow through is the main thing that's going to get in your way when it comes to weight loss. You've got to have a plan that makes sense for you, a plan that allows you to live like a human. You know, every now and then you treat yourself. You do have something. Hey, I eat dark chocolate every day, but I eat 3 little pieces. I'll have pizza maybe once every 2 weeks, but I limit the amount. So it's a matter of finding balance, sustainable balance that you can sustain long term. So Ulysses, to answer your question, yes, hypnosis does help with weight loss. I have recordings for weight loss and also for loving exercise, for stopping binge eating, for overcoming sugar cravings, for all kinds of things related to that. Your first stop, however, would be your medical doctor. And thank you for that question, Ulysses. And if you're just joining, go ahead and like this video and share it. I'm going to be wrapping up soon, but I want to take any last few questions here. This being Friday, I don't want to leave you hanging over the weekend. And recently I've been doing a lot of things. I was on, I was on River Street, on the River Walk, that is, in San Antonio, Texas, and I was at Joe Vitale's house in Wimberley, Texas. So we had a lot of things going on, a lot of activity, but right now I get to focus on you and answer your questions. So if you do have any last questions, go ahead and fire them off before we go our separate ways for the weekend here. And Kinin says, Dr. Jones, great to see you. All right, great to see you too. Neelan says, hi, Dr. Steve, happy weekend. Well, you too. Renina says, hello, Steve from Egypt. All right, hello to you. Ingrid says, what hypnosis recording would I use to correct this? I think you meant weight loss, and you would use weight loss hypnosis recording. And you can find that number of places. One of them would be betterlivingwithhypnosis.com. So it says, hello, can you talk about self-hypnosis? How can we do it? I don't like listening to the recordings as I go to sleep. So is self-hypnosis as effective? Well, the good news, all right, so we have a question here, which I think is a great question, and I want to thank you for answering it. I'm going to read it again. It says, hello, can you talk about self-hypnosis? How can we do it? I don't like listening to the recordings as I go to sleep. So is self-hypnosis as effective? Okay, well, first of all, I would say that the stages of sleep and the stages of hypnosis are no different from each other. It's not as if there's a separate scale for hypnosis and then a scale for sleep. You're on the same scale. So, for example, when you go into theta or delta, whether you're in hypnosis or sleeping, it's the same state. We don't have a different scale. So when you go to quote-unquote sleep, you're actually going deeper into hypnosis. And I actually feel that it's very helpful when people do go to sleep when they're listening to a hypnosis recording, because their analytical mind isn't taking it apart. Hey, I can give someone advice all day, but their analytical mind is going to say, oh, well, I don't know about that. I have some other information that works against that. Oh, you say I'm going to be wealthy? Well, I have all these years of evidence that say I'm not. Or you say I'm going to lose weight. Well, I can demonstrate that that doesn't happen with me. Or, so people start to reason in their conscious mind against what's going on. But when they fall asleep, that just means they're going deeper on the scale of hypnosis. Remember, the sleep scale and the hypnosis scale, same scale. Now they are more of a captive audience, because that conscious mind, that critical factor that says, no, I can't, I'm afraid, I don't know if this will work out, I don't know if I should go for it, bad things might happen. All those things are part of the critical factor. We call it a critical factor because it's critical of everything. It's the conscious mind. It's just reasoning its way through things. So when someone goes to sleep, quote unquote asleep, which is actually deeper into hypnosis, their subconscious mind is more open. It's more easy to program. Now, compare that to self-hypnosis. If you're putting yourself into hypnosis, let's say you learn hypnosis, which I don't have the time to teach here, but if you learn hypnosis, you can go to hypnosiscertified.com and learn how to learn hypnosis. But let's say you learn hypnosis and you want to hypnotize yourself. Well, that means that you are the hypnotherapist and you are the client at the same time. Now, if you have the same situation where you fall asleep, now we have a challenge, because the hypnotherapist has fallen asleep. So imagine if you're going to a hypnotherapist in their office and they fall asleep. Who's getting hypnotized? Nobody, because they've fallen asleep. So you see what I'm saying? If you're wearing both hats, you're the hypnotherapist and the client at the same time, and you relax so much into hypnosis and you fall asleep, it's fine that you're asleep because you're actually in hypnosis, but it's not fine that the hypnosis information has stopped. So if you do use self-hypnosis, if you absolutely, no matter what, still want to use self-hypnosis, make a recording first and listen to that recording. That's the way to do self-hypnosis the right way. That way, if you fall asleep, you are the client and your recording becomes the hypnotherapist, and it's going to continue to play. So that's how you do that. But as far as teaching you self-hypnosis, here I don't have the time to do that here. That would actually take several days to do, even if I did it quickly. So I encourage you to look into that. But thank you very much for that question. Let's see if we have any other last questions before we wrap up. And if you're just joining, go ahead and like the video, go ahead and share it. Get notifications. Also, when you subscribe, you find out when I'm at Dr. Joe Vitale's house. I was with him in New York recently. I was with Dr. Joe Vitale from The Secret, by the way, at his house in Wimberley. I was with Matthew Dixon, the guitar monk, who along with Joe Vitale will be coming out with a program on Ho'oponopono recently, and I let the cat out of the bag when I was at Joe's house. I let everyone know about it. So you find out about neat things like this that are coming out when you subscribe. You get notifications about where I am, what I'm doing. You can pop in, say hi, ask your questions. So a lot of benefits to subscribing. So go ahead and do that. Find the subscribe button and go ahead and do that so you get notifications. Tamara says, would like to know more about weight loss. Okay, well, hopefully I've been fairly complete about that. And hypnosis with weight loss is very, very straightforward. You're just programming the subconscious mind to essentially take in fewer calories and burn more calories. And really, it's not so much about portion size, as I've gotten more educated about weight loss recently, having lost 30 pounds. It's about the type of calories you're taking in. If you've got a lot of pastas and grains, things that are just heavy with carbs and lack protein, well, not only are you not going to help yourself lose weight, you're going to gain weight. And not only that, but you're not going to gain muscle, you're going to gain fat. So getting yourself educated about weight loss is very powerful. And again, I'll mention the resource that my friend Frank Mangano and I put together. and that's called powerofthin.com. I'm happy to say that both Frank and myself have recently lost some weight, because I saw him in New York recently, and we are apparently both on the same page, getting in shape. So that's good stuff, and we want you guys to get on that page also. So powerofthin.com. Tashima says, thank you. You are welcome. Liliana says, is there a hypnosis to help find life purpose? Yes, there is. I call it Finding Your Passion. I do have a recording for that. Rosselli says, oh, before we get to that, Gabby says, good afternoon. I have a fear of drowning or asphyxiation. I can't get boats, terrifies me, deep water, and I don't know why. Can hypnosis find the root of the problem and help me overcome it? Yes, absolutely, Gabby. I would suggest contacting your primary care physician and getting a referral to a therapist. There may be something that happened to you early on. You may have had a situation, perhaps you've even blocked it out, that happened to you relating to that. A lot of times when we do have a fear of something like that, it's because our subconscious mind has put it there because of something it experienced before. It's kind of like when you touch the hot burner, you're not going to do that anymore. And the hot burner starts to mean pain to you, and that's for your survival. So something like that may have happened with you, Gabby. So I'd encourage you to talk to your family doctor and get a referral to a therapist to look more deeply into that. But the good news is that once you do go down those proper routes and look and make sure that there's nothing in the past, and if there is, go ahead and deal with it. But at that time, you could then start to use hypnosis to make sure that the work that they've done really, really sticks. Rosselli says, hi, Dr. Steve. Thank you for your video. You're welcome. Melinda says, you're welcome, Dr. Steve. It was my pleasure to work with you. Thank you. All right. That's in relation to the Hungarian hypnosis recordings that Melinda Orban recently recorded for us and for the world. And so check out Melinda's work. We now have hypnosis recordings in Hungarian. Kathy says, I had problems with confidence. Since I have listened to your hypnosis on confidence, I've gotten better about me. Okay, excellent, Kathy. Thank you very much. Always glad to hear that. Pam says, thanks for your answer, Dr. Steve. You are welcome. Vania says, the best. All right. Namita says, thank you so much for your make a good video. Dear Dr. Steve, you're welcome, Namita. Harusia says, you look so better shaved. All right. Well, thank you, Harusia. I'll cut my hair shorter. Sometimes I'll shave, and some people like it, some people don't. You're not going to be. That's just life. You're not going to be able to keep everyone happy all the time. So the trick is to just do what makes you happy. So I felt like shaving, and I did. I wanted to get my hair cut shorter so it'd be easier and less to maintain. So I did. Some people like it, and I'm always happy to hear that. So thank you, Harusi. I appreciate that. The takeaway there is, of course, you're going to hear all kinds of opinions about what you should do and how you should do it. Follow your heart. Do what you feel is right. Do what inspires you, what motivates you. Find your passion, find your path, find your way of doing things. That's what's going to distinguish you from other people. That's what's going to set you apart. And it's not that you're better than anyone else. It's not about that. It's just that you're a unique individual. We all are. But you're honoring that. And when you honor your uniqueness, people notice it. And so be your authentic, unique self, whatever that may be. All right. Priya says, hi, my babe. I miss you. All right, Priya. I do not know you, but I do appreciate the shout out there. Andrea says, I'm enjoying your programs. I work with farmers. Was a farmer, and what you said makes total sense. Well, thank you, Andrea. I appreciate that. Paul has joined. Paul Macetta, the Influence Master. If you haven't checked out Paul's work, you should definitely check it out. Paul Macetta, doing great work in the self-help space. Anki says, I say good night. Thanks for your time to share with everyone. Bye. Well, Anki, thank you for being here. Doris says, God bless you. Ingrid says, thank you so much, Dr. Steve. You are very welcome, Ingrid. Liliana says, that was great. All right. Ingrid says, thank you for that resource. You're welcome. Tiffany says, have you ever grown a beard, Steve? No. I mean, if you look back, I think when I recorded, I believe it was the NLP videos. I believe I had a thicker goatee, but I've never had a beard. I mean, if you guys saw the video the other day where I was at Joe Vitale's house, you got to see a real beard. Matthew Dixon, the guitar monk, was there, and he had a t-shirt that said Ho'oponopono, and his beard was actually hanging down, cutting off the word. It was so long. So Matthew, and again, this goes back to uniqueness. Let's see your unique, authentic self. So Matthew Dixon has a real beard. I've only had a thick goatee. I really don't do the beard thing beyond that, even though I think it's become a lot more popular these days to have a full beard, in fact. Michelle says, Dr. Steve, can you tell me why most of your videos on YouTube are gone? I didn't know that, but I will look into that. I was not aware of that. Yvonne says, hello, Steve. Can you tell me something about electromagnetism, and do you use it in hypnosis like Franz Mesmer does? Well, that would be did. Franz Mesmer is no longer with us, and no, I don't use electromagnetism in hypnosis, nor do I have any information about it. There are a lot of things that back in the day, long ago, were popular. People, when they first found out about electricity, they actually thought that it would cure almost anything. And so electricity was being used for a lot of things. There wasn't any substantiating data concerning this. It's just a new thing, and there was a lot of hoopla about it, and so people thought that that's the way it worked. I'm not saying that electromagnetism falls into that category, but it potentially does, and I don't have any information about it. And if you have any resources about it, Yvonne, feel free to post them here. It sounds interesting. Jean says, hi, Dr. Steve. It's Jean in New Zealand. Thanks for all your wise words. Are you having a sale in the near future? Well, there's always something that we're doing. We've got something in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, that I've been told I'll have more information for you soon. And let's see, Roselli says, Dr. Steve, good evening. Hello to you. Francisca says, your live videos always great. Thank you for the fact you always helping people. Well, thank you. Yvonne says, hi, Dr. Jones. Happy Friday evening to you. Well, you too. Tashima says, happy Friday. I need to find a mentor. I'm sort of stuck in this non-movement. All right. Well, I do have a recording for that called Unlimited Motivation that would help you quite a bit. But having a mentor, having someone to be accountable to, even if it's just a buddy, just someone you're accountable to, just a friend of yours, that can help. Because if you say, hey, I'm working on this, and they hold you to that, you're more likely to get it done. Now, I'm one of those people who I'm actually my own get things done buddy, because I hold myself very accountable for getting things done. But some people need that or thrive on that when they tell someone and that person's reminding them, saying, hey, remember you said you were going to do this? Let's get it done. And of course, when you have a buddy like that, then you become the support for them. So sometimes it doesn't need to be a coach. Sometimes it can just be a friend who you make an agreement with that you will both support each other and hold each other accountable. Something very powerful. Jahira has joined. Hello to you. Jeff says, saw your Halloween video. Cool. Did you see the guy trying to look like you? He was really good. All right. I haven't seen the guy trying to look like me, but I'm glad you enjoyed the Halloween video. Ida says, you are so funny, Jeff. All right, Jeff, you have a lot of fans here. Good, good to see that. Jennifer says, hi, Steve, looking very handsome. Well, thank you, Jennifer. Tamara says, thank you, you're welcome. Brenda says, thank you. Tamara says, thank you. You are all very welcome. Melissa says, hi. Liliana says, finding your passion, thank you. Yes, that's a recording that I've created that I suggest if you're wondering what to do with your life. If you're wondering what drives you, what's going to motivate you. I have a recording called Finding Your Passion. Let's see, Francisca, you're welcome. Michelle says, also I got 5 friend requests under your name. Okay, not sure what that means, but you can always elaborate. Perhaps it's a reference to identity theft. A lot of people take my pictures and create fake Facebook profiles using them and put them on all kinds of social media websites. Perhaps it's a reference to that. That's an unfortunate byproduct of our modern age, and hopefully people will find a way to stop that. Jahira says, amazing, good afternoon, Dr. Steve. I have a question. Why can't I sleep well when I have a lot of work, even though if I am tired? Okay, well, Jahira, the answer to that is going to be, as I often say, multifactorial. I don't have enough information about you to know the answer to that. But I will say that you should have a talk with your primary care physician. Talk with them. There may be some situations going on that you're not aware of that are affecting your sleep. For example, not sure if you knew this, but right before you go to sleep, it helps if you take a hot bath or something of that nature to raise your core body temperature. Then when you're ready to go to sleep, turn the AC down cooler than you'd keep it during the day, and this drop in your core body temperature causes you to release melatonin, which helps you get to sleep. So there are things like that your medical doctor is going to know, Jahira, that you may not be aware of. And there are also things about the way you may personally be doing things that need to change. So go ahead and talk to your medical doctor about that. Ingrid says, thank you for these live sessions, Dr. Steve. They are amazing to hear how everyone is doing and how you help everyone. Well, thank you, Ingrid, and I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate everyone else being here. And I am here as your resource Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to answer any questions you may have about hypnosis. Roselli says, thank you. You are welcome. Yvonne says, oops, problem streaming, can't see you at all. I'll watch later. All right. George has joined. Tashima says, you are handsome with or without. Your message is clear. You are amazing. You're informative and a true blessing mentor for me. All right, there you go. Accepting people no matter how they are. That's the takeaway there. So thank you for that. And we should all strive to accept people how they present themselves, how whatever they choose as a representation of themselves, their clothing, their hairstyle, these are things that are up to the individual. They're not up to us. And if everyone looked like us and acted like us and talked like us, this world would be, well, first of all, very strange, but second of all, very boring. Can you imagine a whole world of just you? Where would the new ideas come from? So we should accept other people as they strive to tap into and share their uniqueness. So thank you for acknowledging that. Nadia says, I love you, Steve. Well, I love each and every one of you, too. Jahira says, oh, my God, I work with 2 doctors every day. Thank you so much. All right, you are welcome. And on that note, I'm going to wrap up, and I'm going to hope you have a very wonderful weekend. If you've been working hard all week, how about giving yourself a break? How about rewarding yourself? How about taking yourself somewhere nice? It doesn't have to be someone else doing it for you. You can do it yourself. Doing something nice for yourself. This is something that really helps a lot when it comes to personal development. Rewarding yourself, caring for yourself, loving yourself, treating yourself right. So weekends here, if you have been doing something that you're very proud of, how about giving yourself a reward? We're more likely to continue that positive behavior if we get a reward. And sometimes the world's not going to reward us. It's not as if you do something wonderful and the world gives you a reward or an award every time. But you can do that for yourself. You can take care of yourself. You can look after yourself. So I encourage you to find a way to relax this weekend. Cynthia, hello to you from the Fiji Islands. We're all going to come to your place for the weekend, by the way, since you officially have the coolest location from what I've seen, aside from the person in Brazil. So, Cynthia, congratulations on living in the Fiji Islands. What a wonderful way of life. Talk about a way to essentially be on vacation every day. That's the way to do it. Ursula says, the ladies are right. You are looking hot shaved. All right. Well, thank you very much. Who knows? Maybe I'll continue to shave. But as with anything, it's an individual choice. So we should always do that. We should always tap into our individuality. MG says, before you wrap up, I would say good morning from Indonesia to you, Steve, and all. All right. Well, thank you, MG. Thank you for that. And on that note, I am going to wrap up. Thank you all for being here. You are all beautiful. You are all wonderful. You all make this possible. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be doing these broadcasts. So thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I honor you. I respect you. And thank you for being here. Remember, if you haven't already done so, go ahead and subscribe so you'll get notifications when I'm on next. Go ahead and like this video and share it. Let people know about the resource that's here. That's me, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, answering your questions about hypnosis. I'm Dr. Steve G. Jones, hoping you have an outstanding day.